Hello, 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 my amigos. Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of the show with no name. So let's get ready for
T
liftoff.
minus 10,
10,
9,
9,
8,
8. You know the
7,
rest. Come on.
6, 5,
5,
4,
4.
3, 2, 1,
Here we go.
0. Ignition. Liftoff.
Let's get going.
Liftoff. 30 minutes after the...
Yes. Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. Get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time. On Vaughn Radio. It's the show with no name. On Radio.
Let's go. Welcome, show with no namers, wherever you're tuning in from, whatever country, whatever room, maybe it's your office, maybe it's your living room, tu salon, maybe it's at the hair salon, the hairdressers. Well, welcome, and thank you so much for learning and laughing with us all here on Vaughn Radio. Also, mark your calendars, amigos. I've got the 411, la información, the scoop, la primicia, you say? October 7th, we've got something monumental. That's right, a momentous occasion. For the first time ever, Vaughn Radio Trivia Night will be hosted by Jules Linares, the host of Let's Get Random. So join us. I was going to say join her, but join us. We'll all be there on October 7th, 8 p.m., and it's Vaughn Radio Trivia Night. It's the first one back since our summer break. And as I said, it's a really special one because it's the first time Julia Linares has ever hosted. So we're all going to be out there supporting her. And I hope you guys will join us as well. It's always a good time. If you want more information, make sure you're following Grupo Vaughn on social media. I'm sure the marketing department will make an image or some kind of communication. So stay tuned. But just so you know, if you need to make arrangements, well, it is October 7th at 8 p.m. And I can tell you, all of us here at Vaughn Radio can't wait. We haven't had trivia since June, so we've had a couple months off, and we're really excited for Jules and her debut as well. All right, guys, let's get things going here on the show with no name. And we're going to take a look at today's Say What soundbite.
Say what? What?
All right, folks, welcome to your Say What soundbite here on the show with no name. Here we are training our ear to understand the myriad. That's a way of saying the wide range, the myriad of accents, dialects, and situations you'll find out there when using English in the real world. Speaking of using English, a nice round of applause for Anix, Chris Chicago, and Marisol. They've already participated in our question of the week. Great job, ladies. If you'd like to participate in the question of the week, you have until the end of the day, Thursday, to send me a soundbite. You can record it on your phone, keep it at around a minute, and tell us this week about your favorite childhood snack. No, ese manjar. Your favorite treat. That's another way to say it too. One of my favorite treats when I was a kid was snacks, treats. We know the word treat, to treat yourself, no? Mimarte, darte el gusto. So think about it. Makes sense that they're called treats. So your favorite snacks or your favorite treats when you were growing up. And part two of the question, are you still a fan of those or have you outgrown them? Let us know in a 1-minute voice message. You can record it, as I said, on your phone. Don't do it in the bathroom because of the echo. Find a place. Stick your head in the closet for a second. That's a great place to do it. The acoustics. Because there's nowhere for the sound to bounce. And don't worry too much about the volume because I can always bring it up. Okay? So if you have to whisper, I can always, compress it. I can do a few things to make it sound better. But as we say in the world of production, the best post-production is a good production. O sea, si lo grabas bien, poco hay que hacer después. All right, so you can send it to my email address. It's aalonso@grupovon.com. And hurry up, because you've got to get it in before the end of the day on Thursday. Good job, as I said, to the ladies, Marisol, Chris, Chicago, and also Anix, who have already sent their participation. So I look forward to hearing from the rest of you as well in this week's question of the week. All right, but it's not time for question of the week. It's time for our Say What soundbite. So here it is for the first time.
Thoughts change overnight. You get a new piece of information and suddenly the world opens up. So it doesn't matter if they think you're crazy or if they love you. If they love you, they'll hate you in a year. If they hate you, they'll love you in a year.
Alberto, estoy leyendo un cómic y me estoy dando cuenta de que todas las onomatopeyas que salen son verbos en inglés.
Of course, man. We love making it easy.
Por ejemplo, aquí pone chomp y está un animal masticando.
Sure, to chomp.
Es mascar, ¿no?
Sí, mascar. Y lo haces con tus piños. Your chompers.
Ah, chompers es los piños grandotes, ¿no? Vale, y to click, por ejemplo.
To click. Well, to click is what you do on a computer. You click. Pinchar.
Perfecto, pinchas con el ratón. Claro, tiene sentido. To gulp.
Well, before I was gulping my soda. Gulp, 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 gulp.
Claro, estás tragando como un pato.
Eso es, no es lo mismo que sip. Sorber.
Bien. To thump.
Thump. Don't thump your fist on the table. No des un pum, pum en la mesa.
De hecho, el conejito de Bambi se llamaba Thumper.
Eso es, todo tiene sentido en inglés.
Claro que sí, por eso hemos hecho el tercer libro de This Book is the Milk, que se llama This Book is the Shit. Este libro es la leche. Por Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender. Y lo sabes.
And you know it. That's right, folks. This book is the shit. If you don't have it, it is my latest book. You can pick it up at vontienda.com, or wherever fine books are sold. Also, if you're looking to get a free level test or just want to meet us, you can stop by any of our branches. We looked at that word yesterday, sucursales. And as many of you know, they're in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza. We'd love to meet you. Come in, introduce yourself as a Vaughn Radio listener, and you'll already have a special place, not just in our branch, but in our hearts. Oh.
T-minus 10,
Wrong effect. Well, you thought we were going to count down again? No, I think once is enough, especially because we've got a lot of stuff to do, like today's pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right, folks. This is our pop quiz, and we're not looking at something from This Book Is the Shit today, but we are going to take a look at something from Conjunctions o Conjunciones. Si lo estás buscando en internet, conjunciones en inglés, me cuesta esa palabra, eh? Well, in English, it's conjunctions, English conjunctions. It's available at vontienda.com. You can get it for under $10, so it's $9.95, and you've got 42 commonly used conjunctions with examples and, of course, with audio. And we're going to listen to some of that audio now. It comes with over 2 hours of audio, again, at a nice price of $9.95. It's called Conjunciones en Inglés. And why do we need conjunctions? Well, so we speak fluidly, so we connect our thoughts, you know, because, they help tell the story, whatever, you could talk like I remember those books we read. Dick is a boy. Jane is a girl. Dick likes to run. Jane doesn't like to run. Cuando metes un however, nevertheless, ya suena más fluido. So you should be familiar with the most common conjunctions in the English language. We're going to take a look at several of them today, but you've got 42 total with examples, with audio in this amazing material, Conjunciones en Inglés. I just shared the link with you in the group, so if you'd like to pick it up, it's just one click away. All right, let's listen carefully to this audio, and then I'm going to have a couple questions for you afterwards.
Hi, I hope that you can help me.
I'd be glad to help.
It always surprises me that people think that queues in airports are long. The queue here is short and you're keeping it moving.
I'm glad that you're happy with how I am working. What can I get you?
Well, I think my bag is a little heavy. I'm hoping that it's under the limit.
I hate it when my bag is so heavy that I have to leave things behind.
Exactly, me too. I can see that we're on the same wavelength.
Sure. Now, how can I help?
Well, I need you to check in my bag and give me my boarding pass.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but I can't do that.
Why not? You told me that you wanted to help and your counter is open.
I understand what you're saying, but it isn't my job.
It always disappoints me that people don't want to help anymore.
Sir, I'd like to help, but I'm afraid that I can't check in your bags or give you a boarding pass.
And why not?
Well, this is the coffee shop, sir. So, if you want a coffee, I can make you whatever you like.
Oh.
Dad, can I go out with my friends tonight?
Have you done all the chores your mother told you to?
No, Dad. I have to work hard at school and do my homework. Yet you expect me to have time to do chores too.
Well, Sarah, your mother and I both told you that they had to get done before you could go out.
But Dad...
You were told time and again, yet you seem to think you can make up your own rules.
That's not fair, Dad. I want to go out with my friends.
You can, right after you have finished all your chores.
You said that before, yet I think I will be going out anyway.
Oh, so you're 16, living under my roof and eating the food I pay for, yet you think you can make up the rules.
You'll let me go out.
Why?
Mum told you not to order a new car. Yet I have seen a receipt for one.
Be back by 9 and don't tell your mother.
Deal.
Deal.
Tenemos que continuar sacando productos al mercado mientras tengamos oportunidades de inversión.
We need to continue bringing out products to the market while we have the investment opportunities.
Necesito que seas el supervisor en funciones mientras Jeff esté de baja médica.
I need you to be acting supervisor while Jeff is on sick leave.
¿Te importaría cubrir la reunión de ventas mientras yo acabo de terminar este informe?
Would you mind covering the sales meeting while I finish off this report?
Aunque aprecio lo mucho que estás trabajando, todavía nos queda mucho.
While I appreciate how hard you are working, we still have a long way to go.
Gareth es muy bueno trabajando como parte de un equipo, mientras que Irene es mejor trabajando de forma independiente.
Gareth is great at working as part of a team, while Irene is better at working on her own.
¿Podrías avanzar con otras tareas mientras esperas a que se restablezca la conexión?
Could you get on with other work while you're waiting for the network to get back online?
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughan Town, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughan Town, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovaughn.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughan Town. That's right, amigos. Vaughan Town, one of the things that put us on the map here at Vaughan. Yeah, people knew about us before. We had clients, we had big companies, also students, politicians, all kinds of people are part of our clientele. ¿Te suena clientela? We say clientele as well. But before that, either you knew about us or you didn't. But then once the media, the Spanish media, got wind of Richard Vaughan and his revolutionary ideas, they started to report on it. They're like, este tío, este empresario. And Vaughan Town was one of those initiatives that really made everybody pay attention to this guy from Texas who started this company to change the way English was taught and learned. And here we are, many, many, many years later, over 40 years later, still at it. And the radio was another one of those, where people said, wait, I can learn English? I mean, not just listen to an English-speaking radio station, but I can listen to a station that will teach me other things and explain the English stuff along the way, por el camino. So to Richard Vaughan, and you can still listen to Richard Vaughan here on Vaughan Radio and have classes with him on a daily basis. Remember to download the Vaughan Radio app, and then you can take Richard, you can take Kyle, Rob, you can take all of us with you on the go cuando estás por ahí. All right, well, that was like a 3-minute audio, I know, because I've got it jotted down. And I wanted to make sure you got like all the stuff that was in there, because there was a lot of really good stuff. Meaty, you say conchicha, same thing. So let's see. I'm going to put you to the test. This is just to warm up, and then I'll give you the pop quiz conjunctions, okay? So how would we say estamos en la misma onda? We're on the same wavelength. That's right, lo mismo. We say longitud, right? We're on the same wavelength. Do you remember, too, they said another way for a ticket on an airplane. When you have a flight, you have a ticket. What was the other word they used? Did you remember that one? That's a boarding pass. It's another way of saying your ticket. right? Then they were talking about chores, which, as we know, chores are not just quehaceres domésticos, but chores are also tareas. And when you say that something is a chore, that means it's not fun, it's tedious. So just so you know, that it's got more meanings beneath, debajo, ahí, right? I have a lot of chores, but also English shouldn't be a chore. And we firmly believe that here at Vaughn Radio. It's all about how you approach it, como lo enfocas. Another one, esto es frase de padres, your parents. I know, well, if you don't like that, as long as you're living under my roof, siempre que estás viviendo bajo mí. Do you say something similar in Spanish? Because I feel like this expression is as old as the hills. I've heard it many times. Anytime you defy your parents, right? Les tentas. You say, well, no, I'm not going to do that. Right? To defy, tentar. We looked at this word yesterday as well. And if you're a fan of the musical Wicked, and still I try defying gravity, and you can't bring me down. It's a beautiful song. Defying gravity. So desafiar, retar. Yeah, we do it with gravity. We also do it with our parents once we turn into adolescence, and in some cases even sooner. I don't want to mention any names. Another one I wanted to point out. How do you say él tiene muchas inversiones? He's got a lot of inversions? Well, then he's a roller coaster. Es una montaña. Well, inversions, más boca abajo. He's got a lot of investments. It's a false friend, right? So inversion, something that goes upside down. Boy, you turn me inside out. Another one I wanted to highlight. ¿Cómo se dice? He visto el informe. Oh, échale un vistazo al informe. Check out the report. Not report. I've heard a lot of people say report. No. Check out the report. Okay? And there was another one I wanted to point out as well. Todavía nos queda mucho camino por progresar, por hacer. No tiene que ser literalmente. Do you remember that one? We have a long way to go. It means we've got a lot of work to do. Nos queda mucho camino por delante. So today on the show, we've got a long way to go, and we've got a lot of stuff to do in that time. All right, so let's see. Let's see if you were able to get some of the most common conjunctions from this amazing material, Conjunciones en Inglés, which, as I said, is available at Vaughn Tienda. All right, the first one is en cuanto. Use your own example. Lo haré en cuanto tenga tiempo. That's a very common, no? La llamaré en cuanto. It's up to you. What are you waiting for to do something? Well, give us that as an example. Okay? Iré al médico en cuanto tenga un hueco. Whatever. Hey, whatever you think of something you have to do and you're looking for the right moment to do it. That's number one. The second one, you're giving a condition or a caveat. Siempre que. Lo harán siempre que estés apoyándoles. Come up with your own example. What's your condition? Voy a hacer tal cosa siempre que tal. So again, what I've done here is I've chosen some of the ones you need to know, right? These are musts, as we say. Okay, and the third one is y por lo tanto, y por eso, right? Again, these are things that link our ideas and our sentences together. And I can tell you, when I hear native speakers use them, I'm like, oh, good speaker, good orator. When I hear a lack of them, una carencia, como es muy pam y tan, y pam y luego tan, y tal, you're feeling like, okay, the person lacks creativity. It doesn't mean that that's absolutely true, but that's the feeling I get when somebody just speaks without connecting their thoughts. You know, I had a good time yesterday. It was really sunny. Thank God it was really sunny. Because on the other hand, see, now you're putting ideas together. You're hilando, as you say, you're threading those ideas. And these are the key. So know your conjunctions. We're going to take a look at many conjunctions in a little bit. But right now, amigos, we have to go to a quick commercial break. I can't believe it. Yet time flies when you're having fun. So number one, haré tal cosa en cuanto tal cosa, la condición. Okay? Cuando tenga tiempo. En cuanto. The second one, siempre que. Use the structure siempre que in English. And the last one, use y por lo tanto, y por eso, luego. De hecho, es parte de la frase pienso, luego existo. Y por eso, y por lo tanto, existo. René Descartes. We're about to get philosophical on your ass. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with much more Show with No Name. So, stick around. Hey, amigos. Welcome back. Welcome back to part 2 of today's Show with No Name here on Fawn Radio. So much to do, so much to cover in this part of the show. We're going to kick things off with our Say What soundbite. I see we've got some observations over here. We've also got our pop quiz up ahead, plus our news report, where we take a look at all the outlandish news out there. Outlandish. A ver cómo lo traducen. Toma, palabrón. Excéntrico. Raro. The outlandish. I know you've heard weird, strange, odd. También son raro. Raro, raro, raro. Well, this is just another way to say it. Outlandish. Plus, we've got our Name That Lyric, Name That Movie, famous birthdays, double trouble, homophones, and so much more up ahead. Plus, you've got amazing programs all day long. You can kick off your day with Rob Grams and the Pro Bow Show. He will guide you through what's happening in the language right now. Current events, trends, hot topics, hot takes, hot topics, temas de moda, ¿no? Hot takes, opiniones candentes, no populares. But it's great. It'll teach you how to defend yourself in English, how to get by. And then you've got Fitz. You can join him for a master class in his tour de force. No excuses. It's not just the name of his radio show. It's Fitz's philosophy. Hakuna Matata. It's our philosophy. Hakuna, no excuses. It's what Fitz wants to be. No excuses. Don't miss it. I couldn't think of a better way to kick off your morning than with my buddies, Rob and Fitz. And as you know, we've got tons of programming all afternoon and way into the evening. And even on weekends, we've got a show called The Hour to Empower with Jessica Fernandez. So many amazing programs, all of them unique in their own way, but all designed to help you enjoy the English process, the English learning process, so that it doesn't become a chore, to use the word we said before, un deber, algo que estás obligado a hacer. Because if I tell you, let's play a game, then who doesn't want to play a game? If I say, let's do a chore, you're going to be like, no, thanks. Check, please. La cuenta, por favor. All right, let's listen to today's Say What soundbite. We've got to give it a second listen now. And remember, at first, I just want you to give me your observations. At the end of the show, hopefully, somebody will be able to give it to me verbatim, word for word. All right, here it is for the second time.
Thoughts change overnight. You get a new piece of information, and suddenly the world opens up. So it doesn't matter if they think you're crazy or if they love you. If they love you, they'll hate you in a year. If they hate you, they'll love you in a year.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así da gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
vaughantienda.com.
It's the shit. That's right, folks. This book is the shit. It's available at Vaughan Tienda, along with many other amazing materials, such as Conjunciones en Inglés. That's what we're looking at today in our pop quiz. So we're going to go on over here to our virtual classroom and see who's with us. Sometimes my mouth and my brain are out of sync, right? No se sincronizan. You know the group NSYNC? NSYNC es sincronizado. So out of sync es que no están sincronizados. Sometimes my mouth goes faster and sometimes my brain goes faster. So, hey, it's par for the course when you're talking for 2 hours straight. All right, Born to Iron Man says, hi, guys. How are things going? Well, great. Now that you're here, great to have you with us, Born to Iron Man. You are a force to be reckoned with. What does that mean? Una bestia parda, una bestia de la naturaleza, a force to be reckoned with. Speaking of forces to be reckoned with, there's Chris Valrol. She says, hi there, show with no namers. I just sent you my audio. Great, Chris. I just received it. I checked my email. So I will put it into the software and fix it up if need be. If need be, si hace falta. She says, I hope the acoustics are good. And the is good. Yeah, don't worry. I mean, as long as you don't do it in a place with like a huge echo, you know, like the bathroom. You want to avoid doing it in bathrooms. Rooms with carpet, moqueta, those work really well. You know, rooms with a bed in them, curtains, these thick curtains, las cortinas, anything that'll absorb the sound a little bit so it's not bouncing off the walls. So, all right, great stuff, Grace. Well, we look forward to hearing from you as well in our soundbite, our question of the week. All right, Grace is now telling us about the Say What soundbite, and she says, I heard an American man who says thoughts change from one day to the next. depending on the information you have. He also says something about loving or hating. I don't know what. Well, Chris, you got the gist of it. You got the main idea. He's talking about hating you, right? He goes, they hate you and then they love you. So, una persona. I don't know if he's saying the proverbial you or you tú, right? Como hablando de él mismo. So, but yeah. Excellent ear. That's exactly what happened. And yes, the guy is, or was, I should say, from the US of A, the United States of America. Let's see. Born to Iron Man is participating in our pop quiz. He says, I'll do it as soon as I make my mind. So I'll do it as soon as I make up my mind. All right. To make up your mind es decidirse. Solo te falta el up ahí, pero buen trabajo. As soon as. Aprende estas cosas como una sola. On the other hand, these conjunctions that we come across. As soon as. Porque nunca es as soon as you do that. No, it's as soon as lo que sea. Porque el as soon as, como ya ese conjunction, piénsalo como una ráfaga que no es como Gillette, the best a man can get. It goes together. You know what I mean? You don't take any pauses in there. It just goes. Well, Gillette, luego la pausa, the best a man can get. It sounds weird if you say, Gillette, the best a man can get. Even taking those parts, you're like, wait, you're missing the rhythm there. This is the rhythm of the night. Or as you sing it in Spanish, esos son ribotos, son night. Oh no. So I'll do it as soon as, en cuanto, as soon as, tan pronto como, would be the literal translation. And something I learned in Spanish is siempre que is our next one. Siempre que use siempre que y en cuanto le sigue el subjuntivo en español. En cuanto hable con ella, en cuanto vaya de vacaciones, en cuanto te diga algo, right? Subjuntivo después de esa. Lo mismo con siempre que hable, yeah, con ella, siempre que vaya ahí, I think so. I'm pretty sure that after those conjunctions in Spanish, you use the conditional, the what is it called? The subjunctive, because there's a condition. I think that's the way I've made it make sense in my own mind. So great. I'll do it as soon as I make up my mind, and I'll take part in the show with no name as long as I can. Great. As long as. Siempre que. They'll do it as long as you back them up. Lo harán siempre que les respaldes. They'll do it as long as you back them up. Great. And the last one, I'm a shy guy. That's why I find it challenging to speak in English. Solo te falta el it ahí, pero muy bien. Or that's why I find speaking in English challenging. Pero más fácil. That's why I find it challenging to speak in English. Yeah, well, Born to Iron Man, now that you mention it, now that you brought it up, you've never participated in our question of the week. I mean, I'm not, hey, listen, if you're shy, you're shy. But I have a feeling that once you do it once, you're going to get hooked and you're going to get the support from us. Nobody here is going to laugh at you, make fun of you, call you names, right? No way, because you won't last here, right? Anytime we have any trolls or anything like that, anybody who's here to say negative things, there's a real simple solution to that. Block user. Done. You'll never have to see them again. But that wouldn't happen. You know your classmates, and you know that we'll be here to back you up. As long as you are here to back us up. Siempre que. As long as. All right, and that's why nos vale, pero yo estaba buscando otro. Pero nos vale el that's why, okay? Let's see. Chris Valrol has got something to say about it. She says, as soon as I have a moment, I'm going to tidy up the room. Yeah, that's my life story. As soon as I have a moment, I'm going to tidy up or clean up, se puede decir los dos, my office, my room, whatever, right? Yeah, well, that's a very common usage of that one, Chris. All right, the next one. She says, I would like to go as long as you go. Siempre que vayas tú. As long as. So as soon as and as long as. Otra vez, practícalas como una sola. All right, and the last one, no descartemos. We say Descartes. Las S's no las pronunciamos en inglés. Not Descartes. So did you get it? No Descartes. Okay, sorry. So Descartes said, I think, therefore I am, in his work, Discourse on the Method. Excellent job. Born to Iron Man and Chris Valrol. So, en cuanto, as soon as, tan pronto como, a lo mejor te ayuda a pensarlo así. Siempre que, as long as, condición, después. And therefore, y por lo tanto, y por eso. Let's see a couple more here that I think you need to know. Let's see. Afterward, después. You can say after, but we say afterward a lot. Okay. Furthermore, y además, furthermore, ¿conoces esa? Furthermore, o sea, añades algo a lo que decías. We've got firstly, secondly, thirdly, que son adverbios también. On one hand, on the other hand, se usa siempre. However, sin embargo, nevertheless or nonetheless, no obstante, right? Thus, that's another y por eso, y por lo tanto. Thus, ¿no? Como resultado, pasó lo otro. Okay? Any other ones? At last, besides, además, right? Put these into, try and incorporate these into your English. And again, you'll sound like you're putting your ideas and your thoughts together much clearer. I've seen it even with native speakers. All right, amigos, it's time for today's news report.
This is the news report on the show with no name, bringing you the latest breaking news. I'm Alberto Alonso, reporting live.
All right, folks, welcome to our news report. I call this one digging in her heels. Now, have you heard this expression? Digging in her heels. Ahora, puede ser cavando en sus, ¿cómo how you say, heels? Tacones. Pero también digging in her heels also means that she's being stubborn. You say stubborn, cabezota. Okay? We told them about the project, but they dug in their heels. Resistieron, piénsalo. No me muevo de aquí. Entonces, incas, metes, I always forget that word, heels, tacones. Okay? But here, it can also mean she's digging in her heels con los tacones puestos. So you see the double meaning, the expression, don't dig in your heels. Trust me here. No resistas. A ver, como lo dicen, to dig in your heels, to resist stubbornly, to refuse to give in, ceder. Te niega, piensa un niño, no me vas a mover de aquí, voy a hincar aquí los tacones y no me mueves. But also, this woman was digging in her heels, in her high heels. So a New York woman dug. Remember, it's dig, dug. Okay? So you could say dug a hole. Eso es. El amigo Doug cavó, excavó, right? Cavar, excavar. So a New York woman dug for 3 weeks straight, sin parar, to find her own engagement ring. Now, wait a second. You mean she lost it? No. She wanted to mine the diamond herself. So it's not that she had one. It's, well, her boyfriend popped the question. He proposed to her, and she accepted on one condition. As long as, siempre que, they were able to ethically source the gem. Okay, source is encontrarlo de la fuente éticamente, so that they weren't blood diamonds, which we hear about a lot of times nowadays. So it's not that she lost it, but she wanted to find the perfect engagement ring. She's a 31-year-old woman, and she camped out for 3 weeks at Crater of Diamonds State Park. Now, I didn't know this existed. Crater of Diamonds State Park is in Mumford, I don't know how to say that town, Arkansas. We don't say Arkansas, we say Arkansas. And she went there with a shovel and a mission to dig up and find her own diamond. And even before, she had gotten engaged, she had already had a dream as a youngster of doing that, of finding, the hunt, la caza. I found my own diamond, not some kid who had his arms cut off, which we've all seen the terrible things that happen in this industry. And she said, so we're not getting engaged until I do that. And the husband was like, yeah, sure, you can do whatever you want. Well, she said, she didn't say until we do that. So this was something, it was a personal thing for her. She's like, no, I'm going to do it. She says, and these are her exact words, they come from the ground. What's stopping us from just getting one ourselves? So maybe she was being thrifty too. Ahorrativa, trying to save a couple bucks. So she did some research and she discovered that the only active public diamond mine in the world wasn't overseas, but it was just a short flight or drive away from where she was in New York. Well, Arkansas is not a short drive, but she didn't have to go to Sierra Leone. You get what I'm saying? Or go down to South Africa. It was in the United States. So after she finished graduate school, right? So you go to college and then after you can go to grad school if you'd like. And she stayed, she camped out. Okay, hacer camping is to camp out in a tent, digging daily, a diario, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's a full day. That's 8 hours. She only took 1 day off, and she was doing this during the summer. The summer heat was brutal, she said. And she admits she was underprepared. No estaba tan preparada ella. And she said, there were days where I wouldn't shower for several days, varios días. She said, by the time I got out, I was so tired and hurt. Dolorida. I couldn't muster the energy to muster, not mustard. Mustard is mostaza. Muster. M-U-S-T-E-R. She says, I couldn't muster the energy to spend 10 minutes undressing and take a shower. So she was dog tired. We looked at that recently. She was worn out. And my question, again, all this time is, where's the fiance? He's like, oh, yeah. I love your condition. Good luck. I'll be here in the air conditioning. So, and she even had some hardships, dificultades. Her shovel was stolen from her at one point, and that forced her, le obligó, to walk 3 hours round trip, o sea, una hora y media, to the nearest hardware store. You say ferreteria, a hardware store. And she was ready to give up, not because she wanted to, she just couldn't take anymore. And she was there on her final day. She said, I'm going to go out to the field where you mine the diamonds one last time, before I give up on this dream. And she saw a little glimmer, a glimmer. That's like a little bright thing, como dicen, glimmer, the glimmer, something shining, destello, luz tenue, atisbo también puede ser, a glimmer of hope, podríamos decir, right? So she noticed a glimmer by her foot. And at first she thought it was dew. We looked at that word, rocío, right? Condensación. At first she thought it was dew. So she rubbed her hiking boot on it and it didn't move. Because normally if you rub your hiking boot on some dew, well, it's water. It's gone. But it didn't move. Well, it turned out to be a 2.3 carat diamond. In fact, it was the third largest discovered diamond at that park that year. So, I mean, think about that. Weeks in physical pain. I'm sure she was going through emotional pain as well because they're connected. And finally, on that last day, she found it. Goal accomplished. And I didn't know this either. So if you're interested, guys, anybody getting engaged or getting married, plan a trip to the United States. Maybe you'll be lucky, like our friend from New York. It's called Crater of Diamonds. Great name, an appropriate name. Cráter de Diamantes State Park. It's in Arkansas. And it averages, o sea, el promedio, 1 or 2 diamond finds per day. O sea, hallazgos, encuentros. 1 or 2 finds per day. Now, normally they're small they're small diamonds. But hey, a diamond is a diamond. And I bet that is going to be a very, very special ring now once she gets the diamond set into the engagement or wedding ring. So good for her. Good for her. She had a dream. She followed it. She didn't give up. And eventually she got what she was looking for. The story has a happy ending. I still want to know what happened with that fiance. I mean, he was like, good job, honey. I don't know. I guess he was the cheerleader. Didn't seem like he did too much work in the equation. All right, amigos, we're going to head to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with much more. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. This is part 3 of the show with no name, the second half. We've already looked at some conjunctions that you need to know from one of our materials, Conjunciones en Inglés. It's available at vontienda.com. Also, we've listened to our Say What soundbite. We're going to listen to it now for the 3rd time, so hopefully we'll be making some progress in that area. We've also got our homophone section. We've got wacky world records. We've got our spelling bee, double trouble, name that lyric, name that movie, famous birthdays. Man, we got a lot of stuff to do. But most of all, we're going to learn, laugh, and play together as we always do. Also, a quick reminder, if you are in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza, stop by. You do not need an appointment. You can stop by and introduce yourself. Find out about getting a free level test. And this way you can see the progress you've made so far. And some of you, I can even give you that evaluation because I've seen you make progress day after day, week after week, like Anix. Anix, who's here with us in the group. Hello, Anix. She says, morning there. You are a prime example of the kind of student I'm talking about. And you know what? You don't need me to tell you. You know you've made progress because you feel more comfortable every time you speak English. And that is the goal. That is the aim. All right, amigos, let's take a look at some words that sometimes throw students off. You know what time it is. It's Homophones on the Show with No Name.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's homophones only on the show with no name. And what a coincidence. In fact, this is going to be an interesting one here today. I'll tell you why afterwards. All right, because I don't want to give away too many clues. I already give you clues along the way, right? All right. Let's take a look. I want to know if you know these two words and if you know the way they sound and if they sound exactly the same. The first word is pelo. Believe it or not, I've heard this word mispronounced incorrectly pretty often. Pelo. Okay? Pelo. That's I think, well, there are many idiomatic expressions. Suéltate el pelo. So we can take a look at some expressions too. But in general, the word means pelo, okay? And I know it's a word you're familiar with. So the real question here today is, do you know how to pronounce it correctly? And does it sound like heredero? That's right, heredero. There you go. That word's a little tougher. I don't think it's as common, porque todo el mundo tiene pelo, entonces se habla de pelo, right? Pero heredero, well, we're talking about a monarchy, or we're talking about a daughter or a son, right? We're talking about their inheritance. You can say to inherit. El verbo is to inherit. He inherited money. He has a huge inheritance. Inheritance, sustantivo, and to inherit is the verb. All right? So the first word is pelo, a word you should all know, but also, as I said, be careful because I've heard it mispronounced very often, okay? And the second word is somebody who inherits something, okay? So there you go, my amigos. What are those words, and do they sound exactly the same or not? Also, let me give you today's Say What soundbite for the third time.
Thoughts change overnight. You get a new piece of information, and suddenly the world opens up. So it doesn't matter if they think you're crazy or if they love you. If they love you, they'll hate you in a year. If they hate you, they'll love you in a year.
¿Te gustaría abrir puertas a nuevas oportunidades y estar listo para cualquier desafío? Con el máster de inglés del Grupo Vaughan podrás transformar tu futuro. Este programa intensivo te ayudará a dominar el inglés profesional, perfeccionar tu comunicación y ganar la confianza que necesitas para conseguir tus objetivos. Nuestros profesores Vaughan especializados te prepararán para afrontar en inglés todas las situaciones de comunicación en un entorno profesional. No dejes que el inglés sea una barrera. Invierte en tu futuro con el máster de inglés profesional del Grupo Vaughan. Llámanos al 91-133-5833 o entra en grupovaughan.com.
That's right, amigos. GrupoVaughn.com, where you can find out about our masters. You can find out about Vaughntown, about materials, or as I said, just get a free level test. You've got nothing to lose. All right, let's take a look over here at the students who are participating in our homophone section. German, morning, guys. Morning to you, sir. Great to have you with us. And he gives us the two words, and he says they are not homophones. Born to Iron Man says they don't sound alike at all. Are you sure about that? I mean, one thing is that they're not homophones, but they don't rhyme, you're saying? I'm curious. So let me ask you, let's clarify that. They don't sound anything alike? Like, could we rhyme them in a sentence? I don't know. I'm asking you. Of course I know. All right. Let's see. Chris Valrol gives us the correct words, and she says they are not homophones. Okay. All right. I'll tell you what. You guys are right. They're not homophones. But. And there's a big but here. Un culazo. A big but. Okay. But es con dos T's, right? But each one of these words does have a homophone that goes with it. Can you give me that one? So give me the two homophones in the order. So el de pelo, la palabra que suena como pelo, y la palabra que suena como heredero. There you go. Oh, you weren't expecting that twist over there, right? Ese giro de guión. So you're right. They are not homophones. Again, but we can find some homophones herein, aquí dentro. Okay? All right. Let's see. Chris Valrol is giving us the first one. So is Born to Iron Man. All right. And the second one? All right. Well, the first one's right. The first one's absolutely right. So the word pelo is pronounced hair. That's right. Hair. Ha. Hay una H. Hair. Okay. I know you know the word, but again, I've heard hair. I've heard different variations. It's hair. Okay. And it sounds exactly like H-A-R-E. Are. Que es liebre. And the reason I said this is funny was this morning when I was taking a walk. It was about 7 a.m. I was walking through a field, and there were hundreds of hares running all over the place. I think I woke them all up. Les desperté. I even took out the phone. It was really dark still, so you couldn't see the image very well. But I was like, I got to show my daughter. There are literally hundreds of hares everywhere. So, yeah. Pretty crazy. I don't think I've ever seen I've seen them, but I don't think I've ever seen so many hares as I did this morning. All right. So hair, a good way to remember it is the hare has a lot of hair. That hare, ese liebre tiene mucho pelo, has a lot of hair. All right. And the second one, good job. Excellent job. Hair and hair, la primera. And the second one is air, H-E-I-R, and air, aire. That's right. So excellent job. The heir wanted to get some air. El heredero quería un poco de aire. Air. So la H es muda. And Born to Iron Man, it's not that they do sound alike. They don't sound exactly the same though, but they do rhyme, right? The hare got some air when he saw the hare who was the heir to the animal kingdom, right? So again, they all rhyme, but the question here is, do we pronounce the H sound or not? And in the first set, hair, pelo, hair, liebre, sí. En el segundo, la H de air es muda. Y air, pues air como aire no tiene H, así que no te tienes que preocupar ahí. So excellent job. Hey, I upped the ante. Subí la apuesta ahí in today's homophones. All right, folks, now it's time for Wacky World Records.
Wacky World Records. These are the wackiest records in the whole wide world.
All right, folks. Well, this is where we look at records that are, well, outlandish, kind of like our news, things that you wouldn't expect to hear. Because, you know, you got the normal ones. He's the fastest man alive. Okay, there you go. Good. But it's a common one, right? The land speed record. You know, speed is like a common one, you know. So we've had to get creative. And now you have, fastest man who can run in high heels 4 meters. It's gotten a little bit out of control, but that makes for good content. Well, today we're looking at the oldest, talking of superlatives here, the oldest known example of decorative jewelry. Okay, decorative jewelry. Let's say that word because that's difícil de pronunciar. Jewelry, joyería. And we don't normally put an S there. I like jewelry, not jewelries, como furniture. Oh, you have some nice furniture, not muebles con S. So son dos casos donde vosotros usáis una S en español, pero para nosotros no, right? So they take note. Those are little nuances where we disagree in the language. So the oldest example of decorative jewelry is a group of 33 perforated shell beads. Perforated con una perforación, right? They're pierced. Otra forma de decir perforar is to pierce. Lo sabes de piercing, all right? And these are the ones that are still popular today. I mean, my daughter has a couple necklaces with shells, right? The beads, las lentejuelas, are shells. So how old do you think this was? Now, it was excavated. It was dug. Vimos la palabra excavar before. It was dug between the years of 2014. You can say dug up también, no? Excavado. It was dug up between 2014 and 2018. So that's when they were found. Hallazgado, something like this, you say? Hallado. That's when they were found. Encontrado, vamos. Es lo mismo que encontrado. And do you know how old they were? Well, or how old they are, because they're still in existence. Now they've been protected. 142,000 years old. Did you hear what I said? They were created and worn at least 142,000 years ago. This was during the early Middle Stone Age, Edad de Piedra, the early Middle Stone Age. And they were found in the Bouzmon, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, the Bouzmon cave, which is in Morocco. So look at that, right near here, the oldest jewelry. And the shells are of a mollusk, a mollusco, you say the same thing, called Tritia gibosula, which is a small sea snail, evidently, right? Morocco, the sea, with a richly colored pearl-like shell. So if you look at this, it's not just any mollusk. They said, oh, wow, these are beautiful. We can use these in a decorative way, as jewelry. And they did. And prior to this discovery, antes de este hallazgo, descubrimiento, the earliest evidence where they showed jewelry being used, and in this case, they were able to prove that it was a sign, right? It signified community membership or family identity, right? These are like, you would say, a crest, a family crest, un escudo familiar. Well, they would use it like that. Oh, they're the ones who have the diamond. They're the ones who have the platinum. They're the ones who have. So you could tell a family by the jewels they had, or maybe what tribe they belonged to. And those shells, now these weren't found on a necklace, but they were expected as jewelry, like, because they were found as jewelry or symbols, right? So this is why there's that gray area, and this is why the Guinness World Records book gave the record to the ones in Morocco, because it was actually a preserved piece of jewelry. But they found different types of shell beads at many other sites around the world, and the making and wearing of these beads seemed to be quite commonplace, muy normal, diríamos. And those beads, those shells, They dated back to 10,000 to 20,000 years earlier than the ones in Morocco. But the ones in Morocco took the cake, se llevaron la palma, because those are the ones that they can prove. The other ones, they have a feeling that they were used for trading and jewelry, again, to denote membership in different families or tribes. But these, there was no doubt about it. So interesting stuff. Now, I've got to say, I don't really wear jewelry. I've got my wedding ring, and that's about it. Why? Well, it's just one more thing I have to think about in the morning. All right, amigos, it is time to move on to today's Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
All right, amigos, welcome to your Spelling Bee here on the show with no name. Now, I don't have to warn you because you already know round one is, man, it's not a walk in the park. It's not a breeze. In fact, it's quite the contrary. This is only for superstars because, as you know, I am relentless, despiadado in this first round. In the second round, I'm going to say it at a more normal pace that someone would say it at if they wanted to be understood. But you will come across many people who think if you don't understand me, it's your problem. And, well, it seems like they must have a deeper problem there. But that's another story. All right, here we go. The first one is O-P-U-L-E-N-T. The second one is S-N-A-Z-Z-Y. The third one is S-W-A-N-K-Y. The fourth one is L-U-X-U-R-I-O-U-S. The fifth one is L-A-V-I-S-H. And the last one is H-I-G-H-E-N-D. Wow. Oh, boy. Ouch. Oof. Man. All right. Let's see. I'm sure somebody is going to get it or at least come close to it. Going. Okay, hang on. There's Born to Iron Man. No sooner did I say it, and he comes through. El cumple. All right, let's see if he got them right, because as you know, we're not just looking for speed, we are looking for accuracy, precisión. But it looks right at first glance, a primera mirada. Let's see. The first one is correct. The second one is correct. The third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Ladies and gentlemen, unbelievable. Seriously. If I could get it, but I'd have to have a couple cups of coffee in my system to be able to get it that fast. So excellent job. Also, Chris Valrol, what superstars. Born to Iron Man and Chris Valrol figuring out today's spelling bee on the first go. And I'm sure you can see what they all have in common as well. And ladies and gentlemen, Daniela, you got one letter off, but excellent effort. You put in an extra letter. Hay una letra de más, Daniela, but excellent job. All right, here we go, folks. This is round two. Are you ready? And if you've already participated, you can just relax or check your answers again, even though you know they're right. All right, the first one is O-P-U-L-E-N-T. The second one, S-N-A-Z-Z-Y. The third one, S-W-A-N-K-Y. The fourth one, L-U-X-U-R-I-O-U-S. The fifth one, Lavish. And the last one is HIGH-END. All right, those are your words. And if you couldn't figure it out yet, these words all mean elegante, precioso, de lujo, right? These are all words that we associate with the idea of luxury, right? And why? Well, because today in 1837, a man by the name of Charles Louis Tiffany and a guy named Teddy Young opened a shop in New York City. The store was called a stationery. Stationery es cosas de escribir, papel, and fancy goods, bienes de lujo. There's another word, fancy, right? So a stationery and fancy goods emporium. Now we know it as Tiffany and Company. That's right. It is synonymous. That blue box, man. Oh, man. Sometimes I think you could put a piece of dog dew in there, caca de perro, and give it to somebody with the white ribbon, no? El lazo blanco, and it says Tiffany's on there. Be like, this is the greatest piece of shit I've ever gotten in my life. It's just so fancy. So fancy is one of those words as well. Also fancy in British English, it's te apetece. Do you fancy coming with us? Do you fancy, we're going to go to the theater. Do you fancy coming along? Right? So fancy, te apetece, te gustaría. But in the United States, we don't use it that much like that. We say, wow, this is a fancy restaurant. Fancy. Say these words with me, just in case, so we know you're pronouncing them correctly. The first one was opulent. La U es U, opulent. Que luego el sustantivo, opulence. The next one, snazzy. Snazzy. También lo decimos si estás vestido muy formal. Man, you look snazzy. The next one, swanky. Ese se usa mucho en Estados Unidos. This is a swanky club, a fancy club, a swanky restaurant. The fourth one, luxurious. Another adjective that is along these lines. The fifth one, lavish. Wow. That is a lavish restaurant, a lavish house. And the last one, high end. And I think that would be like alta gama, de alta gama, high end. So there you go, amigos, some synonyms in today's Spelling Bee. But we've got to go to a quick commercial break right now. We'll be right back with the rest of today's show. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. This is the fourth and final part of today's show with no name. Can't believe it. Stay tuned, because up next, you can learn English with Gretchen, with Rob and Andy in the lunchtime show. You've also got Ruby's program. Then you got Dave Boyce and the salad. You've also got Kyle Miller in Drive Time. And Chris Frank in Frankly Speaking. And how can I forget Julia Linares, or Jules as we call her. That's right, Julia Linares, who will be hosting our upcoming trivia night If you haven't marked your calendars yet, do it now. October 7th at 8 p.m. I'm sure it's going to be tons of fun. We'll all be there. Are you coming? It'll be great to see you. I know some of you go regularly, religiously, every month. Now, I imagine the ones who go religiously every month, most of you live in Madrid. Well, no matter where you come from, it's great to catch up once a month with you guys, with everybody at Vaughn Radio, in an informal environment, a fun environment. All right, folks, are we ready for another challenge? I know we are. It's time for today's double trouble. Yeah.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble.
I said triple trouble. Did I say triple? Oh, yeah.
Double trouble. I said
Triple trouble. Oh, man. Oh, man. Good luck. That's all I'll say. It's not impossible, but it's definitely a tough one. Okay? So here we go. You have to use the same word 3 times. So right there makes it more difficult just to begin with. All right. Su hijo abandonó la universidad. Ella ya no tiene que dejarle ahí, ¿no? Dejarle como antes le dejaba, ahí en el cole, ¿no? Con el coche. Así que dejemos de hablar de ese tema o dejemos de hablar de eso. ¿Ok? De eso, más fácil. So, su hijo abandonó la universidad, lo dejó. ¿Ok? Ella, lógicamente, ya no tiene que dejarle ahí, ¿no? Dejarle en la puerta. Así que dejemos de hablar de eso. All right? That's your triple trouble, as I said. Gonna make you sweat a little bit, but hopefully we'll get somebody who can figure out, even if you can't get all 3 of them, get 2 of them, and we can fill in the blanks. All right, also, let me give you the Say What soundbite. Nobody's gotten it yet, so I thought it was going to be a bit easier. I thought somebody would be able to figure it out, but I was wrong. All right, last chance. Here's your Say What soundbite.
Thoughts change overnight. You get a new piece of information, and suddenly the world opens up. So it doesn't matter if they think you're crazy or if they love you. If they love you, they'll hate you in a year. If they hate you, they'll love you in a year.
Alberto, viene Tom Cruise al hormiguero y tengo que decirle una cosa. Tengo que decirle, vamos al lío. ¿Cómo se lo digo?
Vamos al lío, tío. Eso es facilísimo. Piensa en la canción de DJ Tiesto. Let's get down to business. Give me one more time
together.
Let's get down
to business. Let's get down to business. Ah, lo sabía, pero no sabía que lo sabía. Aprende inglés con canciones, películas, videojuegos, series, personajes, onomatopeyas. Todas las cosas que te rodean están en inglés, pero no te das cuenta de que ya las tienes en la cabeza. Solamente hay que colocarlas. Y para eso, utiliza nuestro tercer libro, This Book is the Shit, por Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender.
Oh, yeah.
All right, amigos, you know it. If you want to learn English, you want to laugh, and on top of it, remember the vocabulary you're looking at, then This Book is the Shit is for you. It is the 3rd book in the Milk trilogy. It is my 4th book, I think. Yeah, my 5th book, but the 3rd one in that trilogy. You know, you've written a lot of books when you lose track. All right, let's see what we've got over here. Daniela says, hi there. Close, but no cigar. You guys smell that? I think it smells like a totally native. Traducción de close, but no cigar is uy. Por los pelos. Casi. Let's see. Chris says, I have high-end mates. No doubt. They're all snazzy, stylish people. Let's see. Chris says, I love Jules. I wish I could go. We wish you could be there as well. So you think you can tell. Wish you were here. What a great song. We wish you were there with us, and you'll be there with us in spirit, Chris. All right, Daniela. Daniela's taking a stab at our triple trouble. Let's see what she got. His son, okay, so his son, a ver, te lo busco aquí en español. Su hijo abandonó. So his son, so she, okay, so we would say her son then, right? Si estamos hablando de para que haga juego, right? Porque ya ella ya no le tiene que dejar ahí. So I would just, so because his, then I would go with him at the end, para no confundir. So her son dropped out of college. Absolutely. También se puede decir is a college dropout. Es un álbum de Kanye West, College Dropout. So her son dropped out of college, or her son, the college dropout. And now she doesn't have to drop him there, to drop him off. You can say drop, but para rematar, to drop him off. So now she doesn't have to drop him off there. So let's drop it. Deja el tema. Excellent job, Daniela. So her son dropped out of college. She no longer, or she doesn't have to, drop him off there anymore. So let's drop it. Sí, yo creo que decís lo mismo. Déjalo, ¿no? Deja el tema. Drop it. Drop it. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Let's drop it. All right. So a dropout, somebody who abandoned something, who gave up something, right? The verb is to drop out. They always talk about Steve Jobs was a college dropout. He dropped out of college. To drop somebody off, that's the opposite of picking them up. Okay, I drop my daughter off, and then I pick her up. And then the other one, I think it makes sense. Déjalo, ¿no? Deja ese tema. Drop it. No lo toques. Same idea, right? If you can associate those ideas in your mind, then it will make sense to you. So excellent job, Daniela. Chris Valrol says her son dropped out of college. She no longer has to drop him off. En vez de out, she no longer has to drop him off there. And the third part, Chris is like, I wasn't sure. We'll drop it. Born to Iron Man says her son dropped out of college. She doesn't have to. She doesn't have to drop him off there anymore. So let's drop the subject, or let's drop it. All right, amigos. Wonderful job. Really? It's a tough one. It's a really tough one, but you guys figured it out. All right, we are going to the movies. Name that movie. All right, amigos, here we go. We've got today's Name That Movie. This is a movie from 1941. So I am talking about Hollywood's heyday. Heyday, el apogeo, I think you say. In Hollywood's heyday, the heyday of the silver screen. Como hemos visto esta semana, we say the silver screen. That's right. The silver screen. You call it la gran pantalla. We don't call it, well, you can say it's on the big screen, but a lot of times when we talk about nostalgia, we talk about the silver screen. All right, so let's take a look. We'll see if you recognize the movie from the premise. And if not, don't worry, but we will tell you the movie because it's going to be a tough one, 1941. All right, well, let's see. The synopsis goes as follows. After a ski instructor catches her husband flirting with an old flame, she decides to pose as her fictitious twin sister in an attempt to keep him faithful. Okay, muy buen vocabulario ahí en esta explicación. So after a ski, not an esquí, because in Spanish you say esquí, right? In English it's S-K-I. No hay una E delante, okay? So after a ski, lo juntas así para no poner el esquí. After a ski instructor catches, pilla, right? To catch somebody. It's irregular. Every day I catch. Yesterday I caught. Lately I've caught. Well, she catches her husband flirting. I know you know the word flirtear. Lo que me preocupa, what concerns me, is the pronunciation. Flirt o flirt. Imagínate cuando dices la palabra en inglés, porque sé que ya sabes deletrearla y todo, que la I fuese una E. Flirt. Flirt. Ahora te sale, right? So she catches her husband flirting with an old flame. Now, a flame es una llama. But if we say an old flame, un viejo amante. Okay, piénsalo. Un fuego ahí, an old flame. So she decides to pose. To pose as es hacerte, no? Posar de, hacerte. She decides to pose as her fictitious twin sister, hermana gemela, in an attempt to keep him faithful, fiel. All right, and Chris Valrol, wow, you nailed it. It's two-faced woman. Mujer de doble cara, falsa, right? If somebody is two-faced, well, they show some people one face, they show another people a different face. You say the same thing, right? De doble cara. Two-faced. Man, it's not cool to be two-faced. And this is a movie that came out in 1941, and it stars the one and only Greta Garbo. That's right, Greta Garbo. And I've got to be honest, I haven't seen the movie, but the premise sounds pretty exciting. It sounds like it makes for a good movie. All right. And again, it came out in 1941. So this is old school. Let's take a look at the scene here. Catherine says, nice boy. Un chico majo. Nice boy. He reminds me of an Englishman. We don't say Englishman. Englishman I met in Singapore. Me recuerda a. He reminds me of. Ahora, vamos a distinguir entre recuérdame que y me recuerda a. So, me recuerda a mi hermano, how would we say that? He reminds me of my brother. How do you say, recuérdame que llame a mi hermano? Remind me to call my brother. Okay, so no, los dos emplean remind, pero en otra estructura. Okay? He reminds me of an Englishman I met in Singapore. And Larry says, what became of him? ¿Y qué pasó con él? ¿No? ¿Cómo acabó? ¿Qué de él? ¿No? What became of him? ¿En qué se convirtió él? Sería la traducción literal. And Catherine says, he killed himself. Se mató. To kill yourself or to commit suicide. And Larry says, over you? ¿Por ti? ¿Sobre ti? ¿No lo hizo? ¿Tú eras la causa? And Catherine says, so the gossip says, según lo que dice el chismorreo. So the gossip says, all right? And Larry says, oh, people don't kill themselves over women anymore. That's old stuff. Okay? La gente ya no se mata por mujeres, ¿ya? Eso está anticuado, right? It's old stuff. And Catherine says, I hope you're right. Espero que tengas la razón, Lawrence. Because incidents like that depress me. Oh my God. Porque incidentes así, pues me deprimen, me dan el bajón. The movie is Two-Faced Woman, as Chris pointed out, and it stars Greta Garbo. All right, folks, time to move on to You're Joking.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking.
That's right. You're joking here on the show with no name. Also, a nice round of applause for Chris Valrol. She got the Say What soundbite. Nice job. Excellent job. And we'll be taking a look at that shortly. All right, let's take a look at some jewelry jokes. If you've noticed, there's kind of a jewelry theme going through here. The oldest jewels, the woman who was looking for her engagement ring diamond. And, well, I figured let's keep it going with this theme. Why are diamonds, y fijaos, he dicho diamond or diamond? Diamond. Yeah, yo sé que no parece eso, pero eso es como se dice. Diamond. So why are diamonds good for your health? And you know from the song, Diamonds Are Forever, Diamonds Are Forever, they are all I need to please me. They can stimulate, and I forget the lyrics, but we all know, or you should know, it's from pop culture, diamonds are. And then Kanye West, hey, he came up earlier in the show, did a version of it too, about blood diamonds. Diamonds are forever. Throw your diamonds in the sky if you feel the vibe. It's a really cool song, by the way. And it samples the original, okay? So why are diamonds good for your health? Because they're full of carrots. Oh, no, I didn't. Quilates. Zanahorias. Okay. Hey, we were talking about hares before, too. Liebres. That wasn't planned. So, why are diamonds good for your health? Because they're full of carrots. Carrots es quilates, and carrots are zanahorias. Lo que podemos aprender de este chiste es que nunca se dice carrots. It's not carrot, it's carrot. Carrot. Say it with me. Carrot. Okay, he has a 24-carat carrot. Tiene una zanahoria de 24 quilates. All right, here's another one for you. I'm thinking of opening up my own jewelry store. Just a crazy idea of mine. Opening up my own jewelry store. Well, if anyone wants to help, give me a ring. Oh, no. No. I'm thinking of opening up my own jewelry store. And, well, if anyone wants to help out, give me a ring. Give me a ring. Dame un toque. Dame un anillo. All right, last one. What is a lion's favorite piece of jewelry? Okay, de un león. What is a lion's favorite piece of jewelry? Easy. The food chain. No, la cadena alimenticia. Una cadena de comida. The food chain. Well, lions, they eat everything on the food chain, right? All right, you guys are lucky. It's time to move on to famous birthday trivia. That's right, amigos. Let's rock and roll through our famous birthdays. Number one, this guy was born today in 1940, an American singer, actor, and former teen idol. That's right. And he had many, many number one hits, such as Venus. You say Venus, we say Venus. He also has Why, and probably one of his most famous songs and roles, papeles, because he was an actor too, was from the movie Grease. Beauty School Dropout. Remember, he comes out and he sings to the girl who is a beauty school dropout. Well, you know that word. We looked at it in our Triple Trouble. A dropout, alguien que abandona. El verbo to drop out. Hemos visto drop off es dejar a alguien en un sitio, and drop it es déjalo. There you go. I was trying to give you a couple clues there. All right. Number two, a Swedish American actress who was born today in 1905, and she was from the heyday of Hollywood. She's been in so many movies. Grand Hotel, Queen Christina. She's gotten Academy Award nominations as well. She even comes from the era of silent films. And she was in Two-Faced Woman in 1941. So yes, I just mentioned her name. And last but not least, when you think of antivirus software, it's this guy's last name you think of. All right? In fact, British American. British American. He sounds more like an American, so I imagined he spent more time in the United States. But an entrepreneur, a wacky guy, who actually was found dead in 2021 in a prison cell near Barcelona. So some people say that he didn't kill himself. I'm not going to comment. I don't know enough about the case. But supposedly a couple weeks before, he says, I'm not suicidal and I will never kill myself. And just think of the information that guy knew about everybody. Antivirus software. I mean, he knew how to hack into any system, and he had a big mouth. Y era un bocazas. So I'm sure some people up there on the food chain, la cadena alimenticia, were like, we got to get rid of this guy. Hey, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just telling you, take a look at it on your own because it sounds quite suspicious. O como dicen los jóvenes hoy en día, it sounds sus. Yes, sus is... No quieren decir pishes, so they just say now sus. All right, give it up for Chris Valrol. Number 1, Frankie Avalon. Number 2, Greta Garbo. And number 3, John McAfee. And this was talking about how he went from hero to zero, back to hero. He goes, I don't even pay attention to what they say about me anymore because they love me, they hate me, they love me, whatever. Okay? So he goes, thoughts change overnight. Los pensamientos cambian de día a la mañana. You got a new piece of information and suddenly the world opens up. Se te abre el mundo. It doesn't matter if they think you're crazy or if they love you. If they love you, they'll hate you in a year. En un año te odiarán. If they hate you, they'll love you in a year. So he's saying people are finicky anyway. Who cares what they think? Just do what you do. Do your thing. Here he is, John McAfee.
Thoughts change overnight. You get a new piece of information and suddenly the world opens up. So it doesn't matter if they think you're crazy or if they love you. If they love you, they'll hate you in a year. If they hate you, they'll love you in a year.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is... No? Sorry, bye.
Name the lyric, name the lyric, name the lyric, name the lyric only on the show with no name. The show with no name, the show with no name. Name the lyric only on the show with no name. The show with no name, the show with no name. It's name the lyric only on the show with no name.
All right, amigos. Wonderful job today. I thank you for all your energy, your effort, your participation. I urge you to stay tuned and to continue learning and laughing along with my amigos. Thanks again, folks. It's an absolute pleasure. We're going to say goodbye with a Frankie Avalon song, and it's called Venus. Now we know how to pronounce that word. Venus, not Venus, porque se escribe igual, pero lo mismo que no es Júpiter, es Jupiter. Jupiter. So this song came out in 1959, and if you want to practice how to say that planet, well, you can hear it in this amazing song. So once again, thanks everybody, and we'll be back tomorrow with more. I promise. Ciao for now. We're going back to 1959 here. Venus. Venus. Say it with me.